Now my pleasure to introduce a cherished member of this committee and a very good friend, Congressman Kildee. Three things I admire most about Dale Kildee. The first is his tenacity in pursuing his deeply held beliefs. He tells stories about his father's involvement in organized labor back in the days of the auto industry in his native Michigan, which I find moving to this day. Second is he is a genial colleague who respects and is treated with respect by members of both sides of the aisle. And third, he is a very proud military parent. I know, is it two of your sons, Dale, that have served in the armed forces of the country, and he mentions them frequently, and having met one of them, I can see why he's so proud. And he's like a lot of other Americans that his family has served in a very special way. So, Dale, we welcome you home to your committee and would invite you to make your statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Ranking Member Republican Member Klein. I'd like to commend you for holding this hearing today on H.R. 980, the Public Safety Employer-Employee Cooperation Act, which would enable public safety employees to discuss work conditions with their employers. This legislation would extend to firefighters, police officers, EMTs, and other public safety officers the basic right to discuss workplace issues with their employers. I sponsored this legislation with my friend from Tennessee, Mr. Duncan, because I feel that public safety officers who risk their lives to protect us deserve a say in decisions that affect their lives and their livelihood. I'd also like to thank the groups that we have worked with on this legislation, including the International Association of Firefighters, the Fraternal Order of Police, the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, and the National Association of Police Organizations. The absence of the right to collectively bargain denies these public servants the opportunity to influence decisions that affect their work and their families. Firefighters and police officers take seriously their oath to protect the public, and as a result, they do not engage in work slowdowns or stoppages. Our firefighters and police officers risk their lives to keep us safe, yet there are some states in this country that deny them the basic right to discuss workplace issues with their employees, a right which many Americans have. We should not forget that firefighters and policemen and women risk their lives every day to protect us and all the public. At the very least, they should be allowed to negotiate for wages, hours, and safe working conditions. When I was in the state legislature in Michigan in my very first term, back in 1965, I helped pass legislation that grants all public employees, including policemen, firefighters, and EMTs people, the right to bargain collectively. In Michigan, this has led to a working environment that effectively protects the public that both employers and employees can be proud of. Studies have actually found that cooperation between public safety employers and employees reduces fatalities, improves public safety services, and saves the taxpayers' money. While I feel that Michigan is an excellent example of how employer and employee cooperation can benefit everyone, I do not want to impose the same structure on all states. I recognize that states may have different approaches that would be more effective for that particular state. H.R. 980 would merely create a minimum standard that states have the flexibility to implement, regulate, and enforce as they see fit. Many states, such as Michigan, have laws in place that go well beyond 980, and these states would not be affected by this legislation. Additionally, this legislation does not allow strikes or lockouts, and it preserves management rights. Firefighters and police officers are very serious about their commitment to public safety. They deserve the right, the basic right, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member Klein, to sit down with their employers and discuss their work conditions. The reasonableness of this legislation is demonstrated by the wide bipartisan support it has from its 235 co-sponsors. And I urge my colleagues to join me in moving this legislation through the House. And at that, I would yield to the next panel, or if you have questions, respond to any questions.